And we
Welcome
back to the Free Gems Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Free Gems
You are here,
Podcast.
episode 127. Listen, we are going through a crazy time right now.
127.
We just found out we have a new president, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. And by new president, I mean we have an old president that just came back down from 28-3 like the 2006 Patriots. Senko, please take it away and explain to me what the fuck's going on, because I have no idea what's going on.
So,
is the country in shambles? Are we ruined?
Trump
right
Trump won the election.
Trump for sure won the election
by a landslide too. I gave
fight back.
I personally
back.
I gave the American people too much credit.
I
seen so much misinformation.
Yep.
And people voting and picking sides because of misinformation, and looking at his track record and who he is as a person, and the party he represents, the party of law and order. They don't care about that. You know what I mean? They don't care about merit. They don't care about professionalism, competence. They don't care about most of the stuff that, a president should be and should represent. They don't care about anything. So I'm not shocked, but I'm kind of surprised because, like I said, I gave the American people too much credit, and it's he can do no wrong. Remember when I said all roads lead to Rome? All roads lead to Rome. If you missed that segment, I said all roads lead to Rome. It doesn't matter. Trump can't say enough to be racist.
Nope.
He can't commit enough crimes to be a criminal. Doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter that 90% of his cabinet and his staff left him. And Mike Pence, what happened to that relationship? Doesn't matter. Nobody likes him. Doesn't matter. Nobody likes him. Doesn't matter that he was convicted of 34 counts of a 34-count felony of mismanaging funds. Doesn't matter. He was held sexually liable for the sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he defrauded investors. It doesn't matter he defrauded people at Trump University. Doesn't matter that his family was stealing charity money from cancer patients. Doesn't matter. None of that matters.
That's what
I'm saying. Nothing matters. This is not real. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. So, it's just a very unfortunate situation. And when and on the record, I am not the biggest Kamala supporter. I'm very critical of her. I was critical of Biden. But I'm just looking at who would be better for the community between the two. And we're talking about one candidate that wants to give police immunity. We're talking about...
Yeah, he definitely did jack that. The police immunity. He trying to ruin abortion. Not only
listen,
we're going to see.
He's trying to destroy the Department of Education. So did you know he's trying to destroy the Department of Education? So what they want to do is they want to take money out of public schools and give them to charter schools and private schools.
Okay.
And whose communities is that gonna affect? Our communities.
Yeah.
Our communities. We're already underfunded with public school, but they want to indoctrinate the children with Christianity. They want to bring Christianity to schools. They want to indoctrinate the kids by also changing the way that they speak about racism and slavery as well. They also think that the way we teach about it is teaching kids to hate America. So, they want to do all this indoctrination to our children. And, like I said, I vote on based upon who I think would be better for the community. And, obviously, I don't think that person is Donald Trump, and it's just very unfortunate.
I know this shit is, listen, this country is being ran by Vince McMahon is what it feels like. This shit is a big-ass hoax, bro. Like, I couldn't believe what the fuck I was saying, bro. I just seen all those people on stage accepting this presidency, and I'm like, yo, this is a joke. Like, my son was the 45th and the 47th president.
And another thing about misinformation when they talk about it. When they talk about the fact that Roe v. Wade got overturned, and they want to talk about the different arms of government, and Trump had nothing to do with it, which is false. What happened when he was president? When in the Supreme Court of the United States, that's the highest court in the land, and there are no new openings unless somebody passes away or somebody resigns or retires. And during Trump's presidency, he replaced 3 people of the Supreme Court Two of them retired. One of them deceased. R.I.P. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And
God damn, that's a Quaker name.
yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She did a lot of great things. But he replaced 3 Supreme Court justices with 3 conservative Supreme Court justices, and they were the ones who overturned Roe v. Wade and made it state by state basis. So it was a trickle down effect from Donald Trump in order to put the people in power in order to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, he's playing chess this whole time.
Yeah, and another thing, or talk about misinformation. Everybody wants to talk about, the economy was better under Trump. The economy is better under Trump. I made more money under Trump. I'm paying everything, inflation. So when people talk about the economy, people don't really understand how economics works. If you were president today and you put in, if you change everything, economic policies,
right,
it would take a few years in order for yours to take place.
Right.
So, with that being said, the crash of 2007 with the housing crisis, Obama came in and he inherited a mess, ended up making a great economy. Trump inherited a great economy. Inherited a really great economy. So they say the first 2 years or so is from the previous regime's economy, because everything that you put in place, you don't see the fruits of the labor right away. So now Trump inherited a great economy. He botched the pandemic, and now Biden inherited the blowback from the pandemic. Around the world, there was inflation because of the supply chain. Around the world, America was actually the developed country that bounced back from the inflation madness the quickest out of anyone in the world. But people want to talk about apples to apples like it's the same thing. You can't compare a blowback from a global health crisis to not a global health crisis.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to take its context. Sense. Everything is context. People 100%. Don't take it in context. 100%. People are just ignorant. I made a lot more money. My tax returns are better under Trump, not realizing we're still under Trump's tax plan. To this day, even though Biden's the president, we're still under Trump's tax plan. So it's too much misinformation. Oh, the economy was better. Well, you don't know how the economy works. But you're trying to compare apples to oranges. You have to take everything in the context.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense though. That's a good point. Like you said, you're inheriting what was happening before. Because like you said, I can become president today. It doesn't mean that everything's going to change tomorrow.
Exactly.
It takes time.
That is the correlation causation fallacy. Just because something happens in that time doesn't mean that thing is the one that caused it.
Yeah, man.
So it's just so much misinformation out there, and
listen to all the anti-Trump people. Just remember, Trump's like 79. If mathematically speaking, he probably don't got these next 4 years to make it through this shit. Any day now, he gonna look just like Biden, lost, confused, and senile. Like just wait it out.
But Vance.
Vance will be the next option.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know who Vance is. I can't. Vance could walk in the room right now, and I don't know what he look like. I'll be honest with you,
bro.
Like I'm terrible. I'm one of those ignorant people. Like I'm going horrible. I'm just running with whatever the fuck's going on. I'm just here for
horrible. You look up Vance, bro.
What's his real name? What Vance? His name. That's his last name.
Yeah, his last name is Vance.
What's his first name?
That's a good question. I don't even know.
There you go. I rest my case. Nobody cares.
I don't even know.
Most important than anything is the fact that Lil Durk has gone to jail. Young Thug is home. JD Vance, right? JP Morgan, JD Vance. I don't give a fuck. Neither of that shit is important. Okay, we have lost some great rappers, and Trump is back in motherfucking office, bro. This shit ain't making no sense. But I can say he will be the first president that's a convicted felon. I don't understand how that makes sense.
And convicted felons can't even vote.
Hey,
they can't even vote. They can't even get certain loans. And like I said,
you could be president.
The ironic part about it all, this is the party of law and order. Like they don't care about anything, so that's why I do not respect it. I do not respect it because they don't really care. They don't really care. It's all about agenda. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So
this doesn't. But honestly, like I knew Kamala had no shot after, no pun intended, Trump got shot. It was over. Like after that whole Trump got shot, and the more and more this shit ages, the more. When you came out like a couple weeks after, it was like, yo, I don't think that shit was real. Bro. I'm really starting to think that shit was all propaganda.
Come on now.
Like, I know America was good for one thing, and that's some propaganda.
Come on now.
And I said, okay, this shit is all a joke. This shit was all just smoke and mirrors.
He had his bandage. His ear was bandaged up for 4 days, and
then
he was
big ass bandage on there too.
For like 4 days.
Big ass bandage.
For 4 days, and then what happened is nothing. What happened to the gunshot room?
Man.
Yeah, bro. He's he's definitely a showman. You know, he's a
This is Vince
he's one of
McMahon.
the he's one of the biggest con artists. You can't believe anything he says. I don't understand. He doesn't understand what tariffs are. like incompetence. He's talking about 80% tariffs from China and I think 10 to 20% tariffs anywhere else. And he was saying it as like China pays for tariffs when we're the one that pays for tariffs. Anything that's imported, we're the one that pays for the tariffs. Which anybody in economics, no matter what side of the fence they're on, said that Trump's plan is going to be inflationary. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding.
Yes. The proof will definitely be in the pudding.
We'll see what these next couple of years is gonna look like, man.
It's about to and he already has the House majority. He already has the Supreme Court majority. They already said he can't do no wrong. So he's about to pardon himself. He was already they already pushed back from the charges down in Georgia when he called them in the last election, told them to find 80,000 votes, was threatening people down there. You don't remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this one, but
now, one thing I do know though is that presidents can only pardon themselves from federal cases. So I know, like Georgia, for example, that was a state case. The same Fonnie Willis that was after Young Thug, free Jeffrey, who's home now. But the same Fonnie Willis that was the same one who charged Trump. So like. You can't. They pushed back. You can't pardon yourself from a state case.
But they pushed back his. I believe they pushed back his trial till after the election.
Of course.
But you see what I'm saying? It's all a game. It's all a game.
That's that rich shit.
It's all a game.
Yeah,
it's all a game.
Yeah, it don't look like Trump's going nowhere. And I remember I asked my brother, who's kind of closely into the whole politics. I asked him. I said, bro, you think Trump's going to go to jail? No, first I asked him, I said, you think May Adams going to jail? He said, May Adams going to jail. Then I said, you think Trump's going to jail? He said, absolutely not.
Of course not.
He said, absolutely not. Not Trump. Not our Trump. Not America's Trump. No. He's America's golden child.
And that's the thing. In reality, people that backed Kamala or Biden, nobody really liked them. But people love Donald. He's a cult. He's literally a cult.
Yeah, he's a sensation.
No, he is their god. Like people like pray to worship that man.
I know.
You know, false idols.
I be in North Carolina. Trust me.
I see some shit out there. Idols. These are the godly people that worship a mortal man. You know, so I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole because people are hypocrites, and I'll just leave it at that. People are hypocrites, and I don't respect it. I don't respect hypocrites. I listen. I'm the type of person. If you stand on what you believe and you say what you believe, then I respect it. But if you are contradictory in what you say and in your actions, I don't respect it. I don't believe it. And that's anybody. You know, that's me personally. But I don't want to get too much into that. But you know, like I said, he's a cult. He's literally a cult. He's a religion. He can do no wrong. People will die over him. We've never seen a candidate like this. Nobody really cared about John McCain. You know what I mean? Nobody cared. Who's some of the other ones? Nobody really cared about. I'm trying to think some of the other, nobody really cared about any other of these presidential candidates other than Trump the way they do because
for sure, you're right. Nobody except for Obama. People cared about Obama. Like that was like a big movement. But
But even
then, it wasn't to the level.
It wasn't to this level at all.
Yeah, it wasn't to the level that led a fucking rally on January 6th. What year was that? 2020 when the motherfuckers rioted in the 2021. It was after the pandemic.
And not only that, he raised over $100 million to stop the steal, and 95% of that money was unaccounted for. He's the biggest scam artist in the world.
That's gangster.
He's the big. How do you believe anything he says? All he does is scam. I can go into Mar-a-Lago. I can go into inflating the appraisal values of his properties, all frauds. He's a fraud. Everything a fraud. Nothing is real. All mirage. But he makes it look good. I gotta respect it.
See, this is the only time it feels good to kind of just be like lost in the fucking haze, which is me. I like to just watch the shit from the outside looking in, where I'm not invested enough to feel like I lost anything, but I know that this ain't good.
Listen,
I know enough to know that this ain't.
Listen,
good.
Like I said, bro, I'm about the people. You know me. I'm about the community. At the end of the day, that's what I really care about. And whoever's going to be a detriment to the community, I think is an enemy of the people. Yeah. And anybody who's an enemy of the people is an enemy of me. So
Sheesh.
That's just how I go about things.
Nah, that was very well put. But I mean, listen. In other news, while we talking about a whole bunch of shit that's been going on, I feel like we got because we missed the whole week.
We got
you know what I'm saying?
We
Shout out
got
to my boy God. But we listen. So much has happened.
Yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, Thugger, is home.
Is home. Which is dead. Yeah.
He's home. Let's talk about it.
Yo,
bro. When I tell you. Like, I didn't see this coming. I thought Jeffrey was fried.
Me too. I thought he was fried. I thought he was never.
I thought he was fried at first. I started becoming lenient towards like, all right, he might just get out with like time served. And yo, sure enough, bro, he just got out with time served, 15 years probation, and he is back on deck. And it's crazy because first we heard he came home. Then I was hearing for like the last week because the news broke like on Friday or something. I kept hearing like, oh, he has like another like 90 days left. And then yesterday I go on Instagram, he's with T.I.
Yeah, I seen that.
Big as fuck. Looking like 250-pound Young Thug.
Yeah, he does.
I'm like, oh shit, that's Thug. He's home. Like,
and T.I. is a convicted felon, so I don't know what a part of his.
Hey, listen, T.I. convicted, but I'm sure that shit's been expunged by now. That was in like 04, 05.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Like, and not for nothing, we don't gotta get in T.I. situation.
I'm not.
T.I. is the first motherfucker I seen beat 100 guns at one time.
I wouldn't say we were gonna get into it. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, what I do know is Jeffrey is home, and probably the craziest part about all of that is. One of his only requests to the judge was to continue to make music with Gunna.
With Gunna, which is that, a real 360.
Let's talk about fucking let's talk about a heel turn 180, like just full flip on his head. The game is fucked up right now.
And speaking about Georgia, this was the longest trial in Georgia history. So I feel like I follow the trial, but not like, that too closely. I just feel like it was just overwhelming.
Yeah, no. The state of Atlanta got his ass whooped.
Oh, it was just too overwhelming.
Got they ass whooped.
It was just too overwhelming. And I feel like the DA panicked and just ended up cutting him a deal.
They discovered what Brian Steele was. AKA Young Thug's lawyer. Listen, that man put on a cape.
Nah, he did.
And a fucking mask and went out there and fought like a fucking superhero, bro. I've never seen no shit like this, bro. Like I saw what money truly could do, bro. Like I see what money can really do, bro. Like Doug walked away with that. We're only doing 2.5 years.
2.5 years
is incredible, bro. Incredible. Shout out to his legal team.
I don't know. This is the first I've ever heard of somebody beating a RICO.
Bro.
2.5 years.
Well, you know what it is? He technically didn't beat it though. He copped out. He pled guilty.
But he didn't plead guilty to the RICO. I don't think it was racketeering.
Oh, listen.
You know what I mean? Yes. When I say beat the case, I don't mean that he didn't plead guilty. I meant that he pled guilty to lesser charges than what they were trying to fry him with.
Of course,
that's what I'm talking about.
At first, it was murder on the table.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's beating the case. I don't give a damn. That's beating the case.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. You was facing 20, you did 2.5. You beat the case.
What?
You right? Yeah.
That's the people's elbow right there.
Yeah. From a street standpoint, you beat the case.
Oh, absolutely.
You're the man. Ain't you man telling nobody. You beat the case.
And apparently, part of his probation, he can't be in a metro Atlanta area at all.
Yeah,
he got to speak like 2 or 3 times a year on.
He has to do 4 concerts a year that are gonna be anti-gang violence concerts. So basically, every quarter he has to do an anti-gang violence. He has to do like 1,000, like I think it's like 1,000.
So what songs he gonna do then?
He has to do like 1,000. Nah, you bugging. Thug got a lot of beautiful ass music. Chill, don't do that. Because Thug got some beautiful inspirational shit, make you want to cry about your kids. Like people gotta really listen to Thug.
Bro, listen to don't know.
You know. I know
me.
You know.
Beautiful Thugger girls.
Yeah, I know you was just being funny.
I was just being funny. I was just being funny.
It's like, yo, bro. I think honestly, bro, like all in all,
what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
All in all, I learned that I need to get rich so that I can commit a lot of crimes. I got that from Trump and Thug. Shout out to both of them. I've learned that as long as you got some money, you could beat pretty much anything but murder. And what I also learned is, though, for real, if you shut the fuck up, you might beat the case. If you just shut the fuck up, you really might. That really is a good. Listen, just shut the fuck up. If you shut up, you might be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because, yo, bro, what I witnessed was not some shit I expected. I saw a man named Young Thug go up there and beat all them criminal cases and allegations, and I'm like, yo, hey, money can really get you out of anything, bro.
Speaking
money can get you out of anything.
Speaking of Trump, have you ever heard about who Roy Cohn was?
Roy Cohn, no.
Roy Cohn was an attorney from back in the day. He represented a lot of mobsters.
Okay.
And he had a relationship with Trump. And he helped Trump get into the commercial real estate in New York. We're talking about 70s, 80s. And he represented a lot of the mobsters back in the day. And I feel like he basically taught Trump the game, which is don't admit to any crime. If somebody sues you, countersue him. You know, like literally moving like a mob boss, literally moving like the mob. He was a mob boss attorney, and he had a relationship with Trump, and I feel like he put him down on game, let him know what to do. Hey, never admit to any crime. If somebody sues you, countersue him. You just gotta listen. I feel like a great defense attorney, all they do is create confusion.
Yeah.
The prosecution,
reasonable doubt.
The prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt unanimously. All you have to do is create confusion. Yeah. Create confusion. You don't have to prove nothing. All you gotta do is create confusion.
Poke holes.
Poke holes. You sue me, I'm suing you back. Create chaos and confusion. If somebody's chaos and confused, mistrial or not guilty. So
yeah, man. But I mean, I want to know what are your thoughts as far as Young Thug? I mean, because I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's one of my favorite rappers. I want to see him come home, but at the same time, I do feel I'm gonna always stand on if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you did it, you did it. You do the crime, you do the time. Why? Because that same shit that happened to me. My dumb ass should be rotting in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like, listen, I can't do them crimes, so I think you should be held accountable. But if you know who to pay to play, I can't be mad at you. Like,
the game is the game.
The game is the game. Like, fuck, I need some fucking money, bro.
The game is the game.
I need some fucking money, bro.
Yo, Brian Steele can do no wrong.
Brian Steele, and shout out to, I wish I knew his other lawyer's name, because it was a team of attorneys. That's how rich they is when they get a team of attorneys.
Oh, yeah,
but Brian Steele,
they got a whole law firm.
Yeah, I was about to say, his other attorney was a young black man. I wish I knew his name. It's kind of a crime that I don't know his name. I want to give him a shout out, because Brian Steele made sure to shout him out. He said, this is one of the greatest attorneys in the state, in the country right now, and I know his phone is ringing off the hook right now, because Brian Steele was explaining, like, yo, nobody worked harder on this case than that man right there, and I really wish I knew his name, but he was part of the press conference that they had.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't think of his name.
Over. Yeah, he was standing right next to Brian Steele. But yeah, man.
My thoughts are.
I want to hear your thoughts, right?
For the cultures is I'm a big Young Thug fan. He's one of my favorite artists, top 3 artists. As a fan standpoint, I'm happy. But, it's always the dichotomy, thinking, like, the other side of things. Like, right. Wow, he's back on the streets. But, hey, that's the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, listen. Thug is back. I can't wait to see what kind of music he got coming in. Like, I know he got some shit in the works, bro. He was just looking at the rest of his life being in that cell.
Yo, and
from caviar to jail cell.
And the thing is, you got to realize, like, a lot of other artists, we know they're coming home. You feel me?
Yeah.
A lot of other artists, somebody saying Pooh Icy's coming home.
Right.
We know Tory Lanez is coming home. There's a few people who we know are coming home, but Young Thug, we all thought it was over. Yeah. We all thought he was being take'd. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we thought it was gonna be over for bro. We thought he was gonna be doing a 20-piece or better. So
we thought he was gonna get football numbers.
To see him come home, man, be able to come back to his family, his kids, it is a great, heartwarming feeling. I'm like I said, from a music standpoint, I just want to see how this shit's gonna turn out, bro. Because all those people that turned their back on Gunna got a lot of listen. Yeah. Gunna was putting them albums out. He was explaining the whole time, like, yo, y'all people that turned y'all back, stay over there.
Not only that,
I'm glad y'all did what y'all did, because now stay over there. Because now we've been saying it the whole time. Yo, we gonna have to just wait to see what Young Thug says when he whatever Thug says is how we gonna move about it. And a lot of people jump ship early. You got like Lil Baby who unfollowed Gunna, denounced anything to do with him.
Another big artist did too.
I mean, I'm thinking about who at one point, shit, even his own producer, Turbo.
Yes, Turbo. Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
No, you talking about somebody else, because Turbo went and worked right with him immediately after that. He like kind of backed off from it for like a month, and then they got right in the studio and dropped an album.
There was someone,
but no, there's way bigger artists. There's other people I'm trying to think of that definitely was like, yo, I'm staying.
And the thing about Gunna is after this whole debacle, everything.
Durk.
Yes,
Durk was the other one. Yeah. Durk, Gunna. I mean, Durk and Baby both jump ship, got the fuck up out of there.
It was it's funny because after this whole debacle with Gunna, everything he dropped has been unbelievable. He can't. He's different. He's really different.
Nah, on God.
He's really different.
Yeah, man.
Yo, his new song, Him All Along. Did you listen to his new drop, Him All Along? Nah, he really be floating on beats.
Yo, bro, Him
He
All
really,
Along is
he really be, yo, he really.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah,
man.
bro. One of one goes, yo, nah. Hakuna Matata's my joint. You feel me? Like,
nah, yeah, bro. It's gonna be a wild time to see like what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
Are you gonna mend that relationship after people turn their back on you? Like, do you give people the pass to be like, I understand why you turned your back on me because of whatever the street
like,
code is
nah.
and you really didn't know, but it's like they have a deeper understanding. I'm sure there's been communications behind the scenes. There's too much money, too much paperwork, too much connections back there for there to be no private conversations going on. People just cutting them off for no reason.
I want to know how Woody feels.
Listen. Oh, Woody don't give a fuck about none of this shit.
I want to know how
Woody
he
is
feels,
collecting
though.
his couple thousand for every 20v1.
I mean, he's on a media run, but he still has an opinion. I want to know what his opinion is.
Yeah, I want to see what his opinion is because at the end of the day, a lot of people say that Woody has a lot to do with why Thug was in jail in the first place, but they also say that he has a lot to do with the reason why Thug's out of jail because of all the
misinformation,
all the fuckery he got on stand and said.
All the mistelling.
He got on the fucking stand and just said
say
anything.
Say whatever.
Which really helped. I feel like it did help Thug a lot, to be honest. Like having their star witness just flip on the drop of a dime and do whatever. I feel like Thug was in there playing chess this whole time. But we are going to see because a lot of people turned their back on Gunna. And now, I don't know if Thug's decision to work with Gunna is just strictly business based because obviously he still signed to Gunna. I mean, Gunna still signed to Thug. He's still dropping music under YSL. It says that on the front of the album cover. Like, still says Young Slime Life Records or whatever it's called. Young Stoner Life.
Young Stoner Life.
Young Slime Life is their original gang name, but you know YSL's not a gang no more. Apparently,
no, they're not.
If the court system says so, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Truly humbled under God.
Truly humbled, Thug.
Truly humbled under God.
Hey, he spent some time in that cell making that shit. That was
that's Thug.
That was a rabbit out of the hat. You're right. He freestyled
that was off top.
Hey man, listen. But
speaking of, what are you gonna segue into?
Well, I was gonna segue into the only thing is so we lost. I mean, we got Gunna. I mean, God damn it, we got Thug back. But it felt like we swapped them for Durk.
Yeah, it was definitely before the trade deadline.
It was right.
It was definitely before the trade deadline.
Yeah, trade deadline energy. It was like, yo, we gotta swap this shit right now. We gotta push for the playoffs. And the fans was like, come here, Durk.
We need to swap. We need to swap.
And listen, apparently, Lil Durk, man, we gotta talk about it because they saying OTF stands for Order the Flights. It's no longer
Order the Flights is crazy.
It's no longer
that's
only
that
the family.
crazy.
It's Order the Flights. Cause listen, Bro, I'm sitting
on the company
around,
accounts is crazy.
Listen, man, I'm sitting around at my little humble abode just working, and I see Lil Durk has been arrested by the federal authorities in Miami, Florida. And I really couldn't believe what I was seeing because it was like, it was one of those things where as it was happening, when you heard about, Quando Rondo being shot at multiple times, then him and his friend got ambushed in L.A. in the middle of the Beverly Hills Center, I was like, there's no way this got anything to do with Durk because that'd be too fucking obvious. And, OTF, Order the Flights, they ended up ordering the flights, apparently.
On the company account.
And
not only that, in 4K, do not order the flight in 4K.
Yo, bro.
You couldn't pick up the phone and
call?
All
right, let's break this down.
Yeah, go ahead.
So apparently, for people who've been under a rock, all right, Lil Durk, Chicago native, super big rapper, one of the greatest rappers to come out of Chicago in the last 15 years. He is super popular, super big, all that, right? He leader of a movement. He had a friend / cousin named King Von, who was a known reputable gang member / murderer allegedly, and King Von gets into an altercation with a rapper from Georgia. Durk and King Von were living in Georgia, so they freak into the same kind of clubs. They run into this kid, Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo and King Von have a fight. That leads into a big shootout. Quando Rondo's friend not allegedly. He backs out a gun and shoots King Von. A whole bunch of shooting was on. Police end up shooting out with everybody. They killed like 3 people. Police ended up taking the rap for all the murders, and nobody got convicted in any murders for that situation. Yeah, Lil Tim, the Quando Rondo's friend,
he
got completely
he's out.
left.
I knew that. Lil Tim.
His charges all got dropped in self-defense, and because they said that the bullets that killed King Von came from the police.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, facts. So that shit literally got wiped. It wasn't even a self-defense case at that point. Nothing happened in that situation for him legally. But rapidly, Right after that, there was a couple shootings in Georgia that occurred against Quando Rondo during his shows. Crazy things were happening. Like Quando Rondo had a show like a couple weeks after that, and literally there was like 10 people. No, there was like 10 people in the crowd, and people were saying, "Oh, Lil Durk bought all the tickets." And you know, and it's one of those popular rap things where they say like, "Oh, we gonna buy all your tickets and
50,
pay you to show up so we can shoot you."
50 made it popular as far as buying ops tickets.
50 made it like a viral thing where that happened, but Durk was allegedly this is a thing where people book artists and they have them fly out just so they can have the itinerary and kill them. Like that's like supposedly a thing, but apparently this is really what was going on allegedly. And I say all that to say, a couple attempts were made on Quando Rondo's life. Fast forward to the Beverly Hills Center, broad daylight. If you know anything about the Beverly Hills Center, it's like being in fucking Times Square.
Yeah, at a gas station.
At the only gas station like downtown and right in Beverly in the Beverly Hills Center. The Beverly Hills Center is like a giant mall.
Yeah,
for those who don't know, it's literally this is how fucking packed that place is. The Beverly Hills Center upstairs, they shoot the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Literally, the Jimmy Kimmel Show. It's like, I'm telling you, this is Times Square. It's Times Square, but in LA. It's the most fucking wild thing to think that you're going to ambush somebody, let off however many shots. It was like
in
dozens
broad daylight.
and dozens. It's like 3 p.m.
Shot him in daylight?
Yeah, shot him in broad daylight at the only gas station down there. And apparently, Lil Durk had contracted the killers from Chicago. They were non-affiliates of his actual gang, but they contracted local murderers from Chicago, which there's a plethora of. They flew them out here, some on private jets. Apparently there was like three hired gunmen, and they were hired through one of Durk's close associates slash one of his managers, one of his road managers who handles a lot of his business dwellings. And there was another fourth party who's his actual booking manager who books the flights, who books all this and that, who people are saying is part of the paperwork. He's part of one of the co-conspirators who was like innocently put in that situation because it's like, a lot of people are saying who told on Lil Durk, who they were saying there was people wearing wires, all this other stuff, which isn't in the actual paperwork. So this could all be this could all be, you know, Twitter making up all these fake facts. But one thing for sure is that there is 2 people who told, and one of them they're saying is the person who was booking the flights, who was just an innocent bystander that was just booking flights because that's what his job is, you know, like, or him or her, that's what their job is. So in the midst of all this, the flights are ordered with the OTF credit card.
Yeah.
One of the shooters flies private with Durk to LA, and then they leave LA with Durk. There's all types of phone conversations. There's all types of GPS tracking. There's all types of everything, which leads to fast forward 2 years later. Lil Durk he's on a chartered flight. He's getting on a chartered flight from Southern Florida. He has 3 flights booked.
Yeah, he booked 3 different flights.
One to Dubai, one to Switzerland, and the other one in Italy.
No, Italy.
And apparently the feds said, "Where the fuck you think you going?" And they swooped down and they said, No. This man is being watched for all these kind of charges. We can't let him, because he actually wasn't formally indicted yet. It was like an emergency move that the government was watching him and we're like, no, go arrest him right now, because they saw he had 3 different flights booked. Like, where the fuck you think you going? We got some shit in the works for you, buddy. And you know, fast forward to where we got here now, and it's looking like the sloppiest hitman job, murder for hire plot we've ever seen.
They say allegedly that he found out that the feds ran down in Chicago on those guys, and just to see if he was wanted, he booked the flights. He's saying that he didn't actually plan on getting on all the flights. He just wanted to see if they were actually watching him. Because you start booking all these flights, and they watching you, they coming to get you. So he wanted to see if he was wanted as well.
He just had a Lil Durk concert, like a Big Durk Day concert kind of thing, too.
He just got,
like the week before.
He just got keys to the city.
Bro, he just got the keys to the city.
Keys.
he just threw a crazy concert that was for the city, where he put up a big mural of all the dead rappers, just people that have been lost in the last like 10, 15 years in Chicago history, including his opposition, the people that he was sworn enemies against. A lot of people were saying that he knew that his time was coming, because he was saying a lot of people saying that he was talking about it backstage and behind the scenes, talking about like he might get arrested right there at the Chicago show. He was expecting to get arrested, which is why he's been pushing peace and pushing a lot of like the Islam beliefs that he's been dabbling in. He's been pushing it forward and presenting that because he saw this coming. Like he knew this was coming, because I mean, I'm not gonna say he was guilty or nothing, but he just knew that the feds was high on his ass.
And now we're talking about Twitter conversations. I don't know if this is true, but they're talking about, his man's wearing a wire. Talking about OTF Jam wearing a wire.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, he's somebody that did 16 years.
He did 16? Damn, I knew he did some time.
He did 12, 16, something like that. And when he came out, Durk gave him 50 bands and a crib, I think.
Yeah. He for sure gave him that 50,000 on Instagram Live, which is insane.
And apparently he was wearing a wire for the past 2 years. Like I said, I don't know how true it is.
I heard he's been cooperating for over 7 years. Apparently, they said 7 years that they've been.
So that means he was cooperating his last little bit in the feds. They're like, hey, boom, boom, you about to go out on the streets? So
yeah, man, the streets is tricky.
It's tricky.
The streets is tricky, and it's really a sad situation, because on one hand, it's not even that one. It's just a sad situation because it was all so avoidable. And it all trickles down to King Von, and it really all trickles down to a female.
He was the aggressor.
It really trickles down to a female.
I didn't know
because him and Quando Rondo were best of buds. They were like this. There's videos of them repping all type of fuck the ops, fuck Tuka, there's videos of Quando Rondo saying fuck King Von's ops, like they were in videos together. They were best of buds. They loved each other. That. They were like literally the best of friends.
Over a girl is crazy.
And exactly, and it all trickles down. So allegedly it's about a girl and them going back and forth. And mind you, it's not even about Quando Rondo fucking this bitch. It's about YoungBoy supposedly having relations with a girl that King Von had relations with. I mean, YoungBoy supposedly messing with one of the girls that King Von was fucking with, and then King Von went and was making videos with YoungBoy's baby mom, and they made songs together. They were doing all of that corny ass internet shit, and that led to King Von finding the need to put hands on Quando Rondo, who was just the artist of YoungBoy, which is also why YoungBoy has taken such a strong stand against Durk, because he understands he was part of the root of all this. Where it's like, yo, if Vaughn never puts hands on Rondo, Lil Tim never shoots nobody in that situation dies, Lil Durk never feels the need to slide for Vaughn and hire no hitman, allegedly, which I'm not saying he did or didn't, but without that, Durk never feels the need to call out a hit. He never gets told on. Durk's never in this situation. But the power of the vagina prevails again.
I also heard that between YoungBoy and King Von, that King Von asked YoungBoy for a feature. They were buddy. King Von asked YoungBoy for a feature, and YoungBoy was, he didn't do features for everybody or whatever, or he was delayed or something. And then allegedly that's when Von started dissing YoungBoy and everything, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, whatever the politics behind their original beef was, and I can tell you right now, it was not worth it. Because everybody's gone.
And then King Von started smashing one of YoungBoy's baby mothers and all that. And that's why you see YoungBoy on the tracks talking about, y'all can fuck all my baby mothers. I don't care nothing about that. Yeah, that's why he's talking about King Von when he's saying all that.
Listen, man, I know that this shit.
Then he's in the tracks talking about old black Pat get rolled up. You know what I mean?
Listen, this shit is sloppy.
It's very sloppy.
It's actually really sad too, because man, if you know anything about Durk's story, his dad did 26 years in the feds. So his dad was locked up and did a life sentence, and he just came home in the last couple of years. And a lot of people were attributing Durk's push of Islam to his father coming home, and he changed his ways as soon as his dad came home, and but also people attributing it to him trying to clean up his image right before he knew that the feds was coming, because he knew the feds was coming, and it's wild too, because Durk was on a path to push positivity before King Von. And right around when Vaughn came out, but I feel like once Vaughn came out and he started blowing up by giving off this super demon persona and talking about all the murders he committed allegedly, I feel like Durk was like, oh, I can get popping again by doing that. I can get more popping because he saw Vaughn's rise was huge. Like I know you don't give a fuck about his music, but if you were paying attention, bro, Vaughn was like on the way to eclipse Durk like quickly like that because people clearly saw like, all right, Durk might be the rapper, but Vaughn's the real thing. Like, we know Vaughn's the real thing because he just beat 2 murder cases, not because of insufficient evidence, because the witnesses didn't show up to the stand. One died, the other one didn't refuse to show up. So it was like, oh, okay, like, this is the real deal. So people gravitated towards that, and I feel like that pushed a lot of, not just Durk, but a lot of the new rappers you see, like these drill rappers. You see like a K Flock who goes down for murder. You see like these kids from Philly that are just shooting each other left and right. It's like you don't have to just have the streets behind you to testify for you. You got to be able to really prove I did this murder to the point where you got to describe how you did it, what gun you used, what location you was at, how you got away with it, how you peed to get the gunpowder residue off your hands. Like, all that shit needs to be in the track for us to believe you. And I feel like Durk took that page right out of King Von's book, and now Durk's paying the price, and they talking about murder for hire, bro.
And yeah, they trying to kill him. They're talking about death penalty. They're talking about death penalty in Durk's case.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not off the table.
And as far as King Von is concerned, I don't know how true this is, but allegedly after he passed, they found he was a suspect in another murder that Durk was involved in or had ties to allegedly,
a bunch of
and that if Vaughn was alive, he would have been indicted along. They already 100%. Had an indictment. So
so the O Block 6, I'm not sure if you heard of it. The O Block 6, if you're familiar with FBG Duck, which was
I know, yeah, FBG
that was
Duck,
Lil Durk's sworn enemy.
Yeah, I know that was
King Von's sworn enemy.
FBG Butter and all them.
Yeah, exactly. All the FBG crew is the opposition to OTF, O Block, all that, because OTF, O Block's different things.
Yeah, I knew that.
Different entities, but they all be, common enemy. So the whole FBG Duck case was when the O Block 6, which is literally the 6 people that are convicted, that just actually got convicted of the murder of FBG Duck in broad daylight in downtown Chicago. So apparently King Von, that whole O Block 6 would have been the O Block 7 because King Von would have been right up there because they're alleging that King Von put up the money to get FBG Duck murdered. And then they're also now saying too, though, that Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang, who was murdered
R.I.P. D-Thang.
a couple months after King Von, if anybody familiar with all that situation. He was murdered in Indiana, which isn't far from Chicago. It's like a 40-minute drive from where they were at, which is like literally just covered with gang members who leave Chicago to go to a suburb a little bit safer and make that suburb much worse. You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to how Bergen County has a little bit of issues with gang violence that trickles over from New York. Same idea. But obviously Chicago's just a different breed. But so they're saying D-Thang would have as well been, if not tied up in this murder for hire plot, but he would have been also tied up in a bunch of other murders. But they're trying to say that Durk allegedly has a couple more murder for hire plots that are about to be uncovered in the midst of all this. And the more people that come out and tell, the more people that's already rotting in jail that realize, oh, I got a little piece of information that might could get me out of this. We're gonna see some shit. Because what people don't understand is OTF Jam, it's not news to nobody but us, the rest of the world, that he's been telling. Durk's been rapping about it. Durk cut him off years ago. The OTF Jam hasn't been around in 2 years.
I didn't know that.
They already knew that. That's why when you listen to Durk, Federal Nightmares, he talks in his song, he said, ain't no point of getting a lawyer if your homie told something he wore a wire about it something ago. Like
he did say that. That's a fact. That's my jam.
Like when he's talking about things that we're just now hearing, but it's so wild that they're saying that OTF Jam, his baby mother, she was murdered a couple years ago. Right after the Vaughn and D-Thang murder. She was murdered a couple years ago, and they're saying allegedly Lil Durk has ties to that. She was murdered apparently by a 16-year-old, and she was a post office worker, and she was killed while en route. And they're saying that the reason why she was killed is because she gave up D-Thang's location to get him murdered. So yeah, bro, it's a lot of trickle down crazy shit. And in the midst of all that, there's a guy named FBG Cash. FBG Cash is part of the FBG crew. FBG Cash was seen at the King Von mural making fun of King Von being murdered. Now you're making fun. Just, first of all, if you're the enemy, why the fuck are you in their territory? And you're going to take a picture in front of their mural? Lil Durk they have all the tweets of them telling him, like, Durk is literally like, yo, go back, bro. Like, you should go back. Like, I dare you to go back. And within like a week, FBG Cash was gunned down, shot up, and what does Lil Durk do? Drops a song talking about he got left right by that tree. You look up the paperwork, FBG Cash was murdered and left by the tree. And it's not looking good, bro.
And
it's not looking good.
I didn't go down the rabbit hole, but somebody said they were going down the rabbit hole. The night of when he got indicted, somebody was saying it took them 2 or 3 hours to go down the rabbit hole, and they were like, "Yo, the feds ain't even have to work hard. He's done." Like they didn't have to. Work hard. The feds didn't have to even work hard.
No, this shit is all laid out in the music.
They're
it's all laid out in the music.
They were like, I just went down 2 or 3 hour rabbit hole of this whole indictment and everything. And Lil Durk he's fried,
bro. And I'm watching the Gilly and Wallow interview of them doing the Lil Durk interview again. And I'm looking at the timeline, and I'm like, yo, he's literally in the middle of the hood in Chicago with $1 million in cash right in 2022. I'm like, that might be the same million right there that he gave these motherfuckers.
You talking about the one Wallow was giving him advice?
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, bro, that shit was a heart jerker. That was a tear jerker. I remember watching that shit the first time.
I remember when it first came out.
I remember watching that shit, and I'm like, yo, Wallow don't even know. Like, he's talking to a brick wall. He knows he's talking to a brick wall, but I'm just sitting there like, damn, bro, he's talking to a brick wall. And it's like every time I look at a music video of any of them Chicago dudes, and I look at any video that's over a year or two old, literally, it's like 20 to 40% of the people in that video are dead or in jail. Like every time, it never fails. Like it's a wicked way of living, because it's like, man, Durk threw away so much, bro.
Yeah.
Like, win or lose in this case, bro, the Fed's not coming unless they know they got you, bro.
Oh no.
You talk about murder for hire. This ain't no RICO.
They got a 90+ conviction rate. They don't like to lose. They don't like to lose. They don't come out and spend taxpayer money, energy, and resources unless they got you. Yeah. They know more about you than you know.
Yeah, and to be able to make an example of a motherfucker named Lil Durk, oh, they love it.
And somebody said might be the start. You start seeing the downfall of drill music.
Hey, it's been that.
Some people said, this is like this is the pillar that fell.
It's been that. To be honest, you know what's even crazier, which really hit different now. People don't know. Watch 6ix9ine's interview with the Breakfast Club, his second one, when he was on his way to jail, when he knew he was on his way to jail, but didn't really want to say it. He said it. He said, yo, but this is 2018. He's like, yo, all your favorite rappers is going to jail. He said, y'all think y'all just going to keep rapping and doing all this shit y'all do? He said, y'all all going to jail. He said, y'all all going to jail. It's pride of him telling. It's pride of all that shit. He knew he was going to tell. But proud of all that shit, this shit really ages differently when you look back at what he was saying. Like, yo, all y'all think that this shit is sweet. The Feds is watching. 50 Cent was giving him that advice back then. Rick Ross, all these people told him, like, yo, little bro, like, you got to shut the fuck up, get out the way, because this shit ain't going to end well. Fat Joe put his arm around him and said, yo, I want to seem like a mentor, big brother to you. He said, but you so hot, I can't even be seen trying to give you good advice. I got to stay away from you. He said, you're going to end up in jail. And sure enough, boom. And 6ix9ine go to jail, and then what happens when he comes home? Every big rapper go to Diddy's in jail, Thug's in jail, Durk go to jail. Who don't go to jail? All the New York rappers get indicted. The other D thing, New York's D thing, K-Flock go to jail. All the Brooklyn rappers, Sleepy Hollow, Chef G,
Hollow, yeah.
All the 22G, everybody goes to jail. Fucking Coast to Ghost. Like, when you think about it, everybody went to jail.
And that's the thing. People think they get some buzz, they get money, they think they're untouchable. Everybody around them, yes. You know what I mean? It's you're on such a high, you feel like can't nothing bring me down. I can do and say whatever. So I want to touch on something else. Moving on.
Nah, for sure.
Did you see? I know you saw what happened between Drake and DeMar DeRozan. Anything about the Drake and DeMar DeRozan?
I didn't really see any of the back and forth. I just know that they're not fucking with each other because DeMar took the Kendrick side in the middle.
For those who don't know, DeMar DeRozan's from Compton, originally, born and raised in Compton. He played for the Toronto Raptors for a long time, and Drake is the ambassador for the Toronto Raptors. They had a great connection up there, and DeMar DeRozan ended up in Kendrick Lamar's video, Not Like Us video, when he says D-Rose, he's talking about DeMar DeRozan. D-Rose, they like y'all need, came home, then like y'all need, whatever he said. Yeah. He was talking. I thought he was talking about Derrick Rose. You was talking about DeMar DeRozan.
Right.
And so, Drake felt betrayed, and that night ended up being Vince Carter's jersey retirement night in Toronto. So Drake's the ambassador. Drake's there for the jersey retirement night. Right. Just so happened to play the Spurs, who DeMar DeRozan's on the Spurs now.
I thought he was on the Kings. The Sacramento Kings.
You sure?
I'm like 1,000% sure.
All right, never mind. He was.
That's when he came to California. That's what the Kendrick bar was about. He said, "I'm glad D Rose came to California."
Okay, he was on the Spurs.
Okay, Yeah, he was on the Spurs.
Anyway,
a year ago.
the team that DeMar DeRozan was on, they played that night, and you see Drake mean mugging him, and yeah, bro, Drake was mean. Drake ended up being on the announcements talking about, you know, if they retire DeMar's jersey and hang his banner up, I'll go up there myself and rip it down.
Yeah, he did say
and
that.
You know, I like it. My whole thing is I definitely understand both sides, because I know Drake feels like he's hurt from that. Him and DeMar DeRozan probably had a really good relationship behind the scenes, you know, being up in Toronto and everything, being the face of the Raptors. It seemed like they had some history or whatever. And I also feel like DeMar DeRozan was torn, saying, you know, this is where I'm from, you know, Kendrick Lamar being from where he's from, and he wants him on this, and you know, it's kind of like picking your hometown friend over your work friend type of thing. Yeah. You know, I feel like he was regardless if he would have said no to Kendrick, like, damn, bro, you not on my side, like,
right? You gotta stand with the city.
That's what I'm saying. You're not staying with the city. You're not staying with the city. Like,
you gotta stand with Compton.
Oh, you from Toronto now? You feel me? So like,
and him and D Rose actually grew up together.
I know,
they're the exact same age.
Yo, they literally like grew like they
know each other their whole life.
That's what I'm saying. Childhood friends versus work friends,
right?
You know,
versus somebody I only knew because I'm rich and famous.
Only knew because of proximity, because of the fact that I'm in Toronto.
But don't get it twisted. I'm sure they had a great old time. They used to be best of buds. I'm not gonna lie. But I just also realized DeMar DeRozan ain't been in Toronto since 2019. Because I just remember that's when they won the year with Kawhi. So really 2018. Yeah. So I just thought about it, like, it's been like 6 years. Yeah, no wonder he didn't give a fuck about Drake no more. He probably hasn't seen Drake in years. He probably ain't linked Drake in years. What the fuck? But yeah, this is my real family over here.
I definitely understand both sides of things. I definitely see, you know, DeMar might have been torn at the time, but ended up choosing hometown. I see how Drake felt like he was burned, scorned, but it's funny. He over there mean mugging him on the sideline with the pink barrettes in his hair, bro. Like, come on, come on, bro. Like, come on, right? Like, yeah, like I understand. He has a right to be upset. I understand why he's upset, but you over here making, you're making a scene out of it, where if y'all was walking down the street, would you have been on that same type of energy? Probably not.
Hey, listen, Drake moving around with goons, bro. Niggas might want to leave
with
Drake
goons.
Alone.
With goons.
Motherfuckers might want to leave Drake alone.
But I just wanted to talk about it because, like I said, I definitely see both sides. Drake feels like he was scoring, and at the same. Oh, you gonna say something?
No.
And Drake wasn't at the Louisiana Lil Wayne Fest because of the jersey retirement ceremony. Louisiana Fest down in New Orleans the same night.
Damn, I'll be damned.
You don't.
I heard, but I didn't realize it was the same night.
Same night. Drake wasn't there because of the retirement jersey ceremony. Lil Wayne. Let's segue over to Lil Wayne. He was the Louisiana Fest. He ended up getting his flowers. He ended up getting the key to the city. They're starting the inaugural Walk of Fame, I think, in New Orleans, and he's gonna be the first one. They're getting a Lil Wayne Day and everything.
They're giving a Lil Wayne Day and a Walk of Fame in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're giving it. The Master P and stuff was there. Everybody was there.
Damn.
Yeah.
I gotta do my history in New Orleans. How many people are they gonna put on that Walk of Fame?
they had Juvie there on stage.
They're gonna have Juvie to get a fucking star. It's gonna be Juvie and Drew Brees. Like, that's about it. Like, who the fuck? They gonna get Marcus Colston the star? Who the fuck is from New Orleans? It's not that many people. It's just I could be completely wrong. I'm trying to think. There's got to be some big. Is Louis Armstrong from New Orleans, some shit like that?
Yeah. I think so. Ella Fitzgerald. I think a lot
who?
of Ella Fitzgerald. I think.
Who's that?
A famous musician, old school.
I gotta get into it. 'Cause I know there's a lot of jazz was like born from like
jazz. That's how the Utah Jazz started in New Orleans before they went to Utah.
Right.
The Utah Jazz, yeah.
I fucking hate that name, but that makes a lot of sense. You're so right.
Fact. But they have a lot of history in New Orleans. But like I was saying, so Lil Wayne, goes on stage, talks about the whole Super Bowl debacle, talk about that they ripped it from me. That was my chance and they ripped it from me or whatever, and I thought it was very self-centered. This Kendrick Lamar said he's been a fan of Lil Wayne for a while.
His whole life.
But that's what I'm saying. Didn't say anything about I'm happy for Kendrick. This is his moment. didn't say, you know, they picked a good person. He was just all about me. It wasn't fair. I
gotta hear that.
And then
Wayne said that.
Wayne was on stage, was talking about how he's upset that the Super Bowl should have been his. And that crying, me. And then he perceived to give a atrocious performance.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah,
okay, that's why it was going viral that he played. It was terrible.
Then he proceeded to give an atrocious performance to remind everybody the reason why. You know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm grew up a Lil Wayne fan.
You got dreadlocks because of Lil Wayne right now.
Don't get that. Don't get that. But you know, I've been a fan of Wayne music my whole life. But you know, he proceeded to give a very subpar performance up there, and to just show why that he wasn't even in consideration. And it was just it was awkward sight.
Yeah, that's what, you know, I'll be thinking about all the time. Like, people be like, man, Biggie and Tupac was alive. I'm like, y'all do understand if Biggie and Tupac was alive, we would not be cherishing them the way we do. I'm sorry to tell you that. Like, Biggie would literally be like another Busta Rhymes. Where, like, Busta Rhymes is a legend. Bro, no disrespect to Busta Rhymes when I say that. But when I say that, I mean he's an afterthought. He's looked at as an icon and a legend from his borough. That's about it. Like we don't cherish our legends like we think we would have had they stayed alive. A lot of people needed to die in order for them to become the icon, and that's unfortunate. But they live forever when they do die, which is kind of crazy.
I 1,000% agree. I'll think about it. Biggie and Tupac, they ended up passing away at the peak. Yeah. We never saw a Valley.
25 years old.
We never saw a Valley.
Both of them 25.
At the peak of their career. So that's the only time we've ever seen them.
We ain't watched them sell out. We ain't watched them catch no more crazy charges. No, we ain't watched them do some bozo shit, telling a nigga. We ain't seen them.
Not even that. We ain't watch them. We ain't watch them have an album flop. We ain't watch the downfall.
Right.
You know, we didn't watch the trials and tribulations. We saw them here, and that's the only way we judge them by. I'll give you another one. For the same way that we talk about Biggie and Tupac, if somebody, rest in peace his soul, like DMX died at the height of his career, he would be absolutely in that. Nobody realizes 100%. How big DMX was in 99, 2000, 98. Bro, he was literally a global icon. Bro. If he would have passed away at his height, he would have been synonymous with Biggie, Tupac, DMX.
That's a fact.
Synonymous. Absolutely.
That's a fact. That's a really good point. Easily. That's a really good point. Good example. Because I also think about, like, I'm watching Drink Champs. Shout out to Drink Champs. And I'm watching so many people kind of like just back off of the like Nas being the greatest rapper thing. And I'm like, yo, just 15, 20 years ago, Nas was the greatest rapper alive. Like, people would say lyrically this and that. People don't even mention Nas in the top 5 no more, bro. And that's just the fucked up shit with hip hop. Like, once you age out, people don't give a fuck no more, and they don't. Not that they don't. You only live within that time, that era. Those fans that are aging with you.
Yes.
The youth don't give a fuck about you.
Yep.
Like I like, and it's crazy because I mean, yeah, granted, the youth slowly are trickling away from Tupac and Biggie, but those names are never gonna die. No, they'll never go nowhere. So I say all this to really say, like, it's a shame what's happening with Wayne, where like really the last 10 years since like 2013, 2014, nobody really give a fuck about what Wayne got going on. And it's fucked up because he is a legend in his own right. He's probably he lyrically might be the best rapper alive. Yeah, it's an argument to be made. Absolutely. It's an argument to be made there, but people don't give him the proper respects. And now you see him having to go up there and, like you say, he's whining about not being able to perform not being the pick to perform at the Super Bowl. It's fucked up. I think it's fucked up, but I mean, it is the way of the world. But I don't know. It bothers me to see it. It bothers me to see it because he deserves it, but at the same time, nobody want to hear that shit. And we don't want to hear you complaining.
We're talking about people who blew up post-mortem. The thing about Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would have thought Nipsey Hussle's death, rest in peace his soul, would have the impact that it had on the culture. Right. The fact that his album won a Grammy a year after it came out.
Went platinum a year after, too.
That's what I'm saying. So he didn't even see the fruits of his labors. I'm glad that people were able to shine light on what he was doing for his community. I'm glad people were able to shine light on him as an artist and as a person. But it's unfortunate he never even got to see him blow. He never got to see himself blow up like the way he, you know, should have saw himself blow up. And before Nipsey Hussle's death, nobody talking about Nipsey Hussle, you would have been like, what? You know what I mean? Like, he was never like on that.
On the West Coast, he was definitely beloved, but not even as much as like, no, you're right. Once he passed, it blew him up on such another level. I forgot he gained like over 1 million followers in a couple of days after that. Like, it's just the it's the stimulus package that that dying does to you, you know, and it's fucked up.
It's a thought. Wow, we're never gonna get another one of his tracks, another one of his albums again. So people go back in nostalgia. But I really feel like that, you know, with the whole DMX comparison, that it's unfortunate. You know, R.I.P. Like I said, DMX. But the fact that if he would have passed away at his peak, no question, he would have been up there. Biggie, Tupac, DMX. He would have been synonymous with those names. But
some people got him up there still. Prior to his death.
No, I have him. I have him personally up there with him.
Oh, right.
But I'm talking about as far as the culture is concerned. If you know, I would have said this, people like, yo, you're out your mind. You know what I mean?
There would have been DMX bobbleheads, DMX backpacks, DMX everything. If he would have passed.
You know, the
facts.
With the whole dog things and everything that happened transpired after his downfall of his the peak of his career, we didn't really see that with those two. They've literally been immortal. They've been here, and then that's all we know them as is the top, is the peak.
There's nothing else to talk about, right? When you talk about top 5 rappers, you almost just take them out the conversation because they're automatically 1 and 2, or in whatever position you want to put it. People are going to say all time greatest, period. 1 and 2, they're going to be up there, and it has a lot to do with that stimulus package you get from dying. Which, you know, it's sad, unfortunate, but it is the way of the world, and it is how that works. I watched this comedian, Gerard Carmichael. He made like a little segment, and he was saying like, this is gonna sound crazy. He was like, yo, I'm glad Dr. King got killed. Because he's like, I feel like he'd be doing State Farm commercials by now. And I was like, yo, that's fucking a wild concept. But I feel like he's right. Like, he's like, he probably would have been doing fucking the general commercials by the time 2000s would have rolled around in his 70s and 80s. Because it's just like, that's just the natural, you know, it's the natural progression of how this goes. Like, you go through your prime, your phase, and then you fizzle out, and then it's like, yo, I'm selling out for the money. Like, what we doing?
Like you sponsor hit. Yeah, but, that's
and like he said it in a comedic in a comedic way. In a comedic way, it was actually really funny, but it was like there was a lot of truth to it. Like all good jokes, there's the truth to it, where it's like
underlying truth.
Probably right. Like you probably Malcolm X probably would have been doing commercials and shit, selling his likeness at that point, and like. It was necessary, not necessary. It sounds crazy to keep saying that, but like, in order to die, you become a martyr. It's a thing. It's a thing. You become an icon if you get killed, especially in the prime of your shit. Yeah. Before anything bad can happen. Before anything. Listen, we love Walt Disney. We forget he was an anti-Semite and a fucking racist in every way possible. Like, we forget about that shit. Listen, we gonna take our kids to Disney World.
Magical Kingdom.
We gonna put them fucking Minnie Mouse ears on our daughter's first fucking Halloween. We gonna do all of that shit still. Completely forgetting. This guy died at the perfect time. Because if he would have made it to the 90s, 2000s, it would have been fucking over. I don't think he would have physically been able to live that long. But if we would have made it.
Speaking of Mickey and Minnie Mouse, they're actually blackface.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh yeah. We can get into that. Goofy, all them motherfuckers for sure.
It's not the time. It's time to get out of here.
Yeah,
it's
the Free Gems podcast. Time to get out of here. We just had to upload y'all on mad fucking. Yeah. We had to update y'all on so much things, but it was like 3 main targets that we just had to spend all the time on. Man. Yeah, we got to come back. We got to talk NFL. Yeah, we got to come back. We got to talk a bunch of other shit.
Oh, but there's all the trade. There's so much I wanted to get to, but thank you guys for everything. This Free Gems podcast, and we out of here. See you next time.
Appreciate you guys, man. See us next week. We gone. Insane.